Serious charges after a threat sends a school into lockdown out in Hazel Park.
But this time, a student isn't accused of being responsible. It's a teacher. Fox 2's Liz Lewin joins us live. And Liz, you certainly don't hear about this very often.
Yeah, well, Taryn and Roop, I can tell you, was a twist that certainly took this school district by surprise. Paul Jacobs is that teacher in question. He is now behind bars facing some serious charges as it relates to that threat. And I want to say straight up front, that threat was deemed not credible by police. But police saying Jacobs, well, he certainly had something to do with what happened last week. Now, I did speak to Chief Brian Buchholz, and he declined to talk on camera, but did send over some official details. Police say after classes were dismissed on February 2nd, a staff member here at the junior high school found a piece of paper that stated the school would be blown up tomorrow, that being February 3rd. Police and school officials started their investigation, and as it unfolded, it was revealed a teacher, Paul Jacobs, a 40-year-old from Livonia, was actually aware of that written bomb threat. Jacobs did not, however, report it to authorities at the time. In fact, police say he displayed the note so others would find it. Canines were brought in and action was taken to secure the area. The district canceled all evening activities just to be safe. That threat later deemed not credible. Jacobs, as I mentioned, is now facing charges, including the following misdemeanor charge: intentional threat to commit an act of violence against a school, employees, or students. A note did go out to families from the district after the incident. I stopped by earlier and I spoke to the superintendent. Here's some of what she had to say.
We told him something happened. We cannot talk about personnel. We can't talk about kids when kids do things. But I think they also know we're going to get to the bottom of it. We have 2 SROs in our district, so it's pretty fantastic, the support that we've had from the police. And so they're already in there and looking at names, figuring out who the people are, trying to figure out when and where things happen. And that's how really the police worked with our administration to come to the conclusion what had happened.
Taryn Roop, I cannot reiterate enough how important it was that the work was done, and it was done effectively and efficiently. Again, you heard Dr. Krupe say, as far as it comes, they really cannot talk a lot about Jacobs, his tenure here at the school, or anything that has to do with personnel matters, or anything to do with the kids, which might come as a disappointment to some families, but it is part of their protocol. I can tell you Jacobs' bond is set at $10,000. He's next due in court at the end of this month. I'll toss it back to you.
This is so troubling. I'm sure parents are outraged by this. Did the teacher have any sort of response? Do we know about why he did this?
Look, again, getting really little from both the police department and the superintendent. I will say, as part of our conversation, she said, Liz, we do not know why people do some of the things they do. All we can do is make sure that we have the necessary protocols in place to keep our kids, our district, and our staff and employees safe. And I can tell you expeditiously that's exactly what they did. This is an ongoing investigation. So, of course, here on Fox 2 online and on air, we will bring you the latest as we get it.
Well, that good protocol and policy procedure, that is the good news in this. Thanks, Liz.